personally? I mean, even if you do feel you're innocent of these and you've never done any of these things and the Browns don't feel like you have, will you be willing to do things, personally in terms of counseling or whatever else it would take to show that you'll go the extra mile to make sure nothing like this ever happens again?
It's hard for me to say the counseling part because I don't have a problem. I don't have an issue, and that's what I've been saying from the beginning. So this situation is definitely is tough and it's very difficult. But me as a having a problem going to counseling and things like that, I'm willing to talk to people about certain situations to make sure I'm not getting back in this. But like I said before, I never assaulted anyone, never disrespected anyone. I've always been respectful, and that's what I've always, stood on, and that's who I am as a person.
Deshaun, you originally turned down the Browns, and then you flipped and went back to the Browns. How much of that had to just do with the contract?
Actually, it had nothing to do with the contract. I didn't know about the contract until I told my agent that I wanted to come and be a Cleveland Brown. That was secondary. That was after the fact that we spoke on the phone with AB and Kevin and the Haslam family. So that had nothing to do with me choosing the Cleveland Browns.
13 teams. Sure. You only heard the finalists. I heard 13 teams was interested in Deshaun Watson. So if 13 teams are interested in him, nobody called the league office and said, hey, what kind of punishment is coming down the pike for this brother? They took Ben Roethlisberger into consideration. Just an allegation. He got 6 games. It was ultimately reduced to 4. Michael Vick, he was incarcerated, so the legal system took care of him. And then you got other situations where people have been accused, but cases have been settled. As a result, they come back, they get a few games, but ultimately that's what it's going to come down to. So now you get to the National Football League office and you say, what standard should they have? Especially when somebody like Calvin Ridley has been suspended for the entire year for just betting $1,500. Well, the NFL's response is, from what I've been told in terms of their thinking, well, there's proof there that that guy was guilty of compromising the integrity of the game because you bet on the game, whether directly or indirectly. Whereas in these cases, well, it's he says one thing, they said another. The legal system isn't throwing him in jail, and as a result, he's available for his services. This is the stance that they take. So again, it looks bad. There is no question about that. But before we look at the Cleveland Browns, you got to blame you have to blame 12 other teams, and you're going to have to blame the league. And it comes down to, what do we think is should be a definitive punishment for this situation? Because a lot of times people look at the NFL and say, Molly, I'm coming to you. Yeah. They're going to say, they'll look at the league and they'll say, make a decision. What should happen? And what I want to know is, from the Mollys of the world, from the Kimberlys of the world, Mary Kay Cabot, from Cleveland Plain Dealer, she's coming on the show, from Nancy Amore in the USA Today. What I want to know is, based on this situation right here, it's no longer a criminal case, it's a civil case. What exactly do you think should happen to Deshaun Watson?
Well, there's a lot of things I want to get into. Sure. So as far as the civil aspect, right? So we don't know whether he's won or lost any of those cases. So there's still a lot of information that we don't have. But when you talk about the rule, like Calvin Ridley with the betting on games, that was a full season. And then when we're talking about, I have an issue with the rule to begin with, because domestic abuse, child abuse, sexual assault, it's 6 games. Tom Brady got 4 games for deflated footballs. Yes. So you can abuse a child, you can abuse a woman, and you get 2 more games. So that's a problem in itself that the NFL needs to address. Then we're talking about this particular situation. I want to go back to the Browns organization, okay? So let's deem Deshaun Watson, is innocent. They don't know this yet. So they said that they did their due diligence in terms of an investigation. Well, you didn't speak to the lawyer and you didn't speak to any of the women. So could we have some transparency on how you got here? How did you vet this situation? How about you share that with the public? Because based on their independent investigation, how do we know there wasn't just a confirmation bias to make it work so they could get Deshaun Watson?
My challenge to that last assertion you just made is that anytime there's a legal matter that comes up, every client is advised to shut the hell up. It don't matter what it is. I don't know. Listen, I've had issues, and I ain't never been in trouble with the law. No. What I'm saying is when you say, in other words, when you say They didn't talk with the lawyer. They investigated. Here's what they investigated. Is he going to play?
Right.
Is he going to be allowed to
Yeah,
play?
they didn't talk to the women. There's 22 women.
I understand that. No, we know that.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. What we're saying is the NFL, let's call it what it is. Those individual teams don't care. What they care about is, can he play?
Well, when are they going to start caring about
Yeah, and
women?
I
Because
think
42% of the fan base is female.
Well, and listen, nearly every ad that you see during a game, is promoting, the football is family. And you talk about advancements of women in coaching, women in the front office. That's speaking with a forked tongue. There's no doubt about it. The thing I would say, and I think this is your point, Stephen, the teams, because of what you said about the history of the organization and trying to win, they're going to look around at the other 32 teams that are trying to do the same thing. The group that needs to be above that is the league office.
Right.
Because the teams are always going to have that temptation to, all right, let's not worry about this guy's off the field situation because he's a great player and he's going to help us win. But the league office, I don't know why it's taken so long for them. Because I think teams the teams themselves have a different goal than the league office. Listen, the league can do with it. You can move a player out of the league and survive. You're fine.
Yeah.
An individual player means a lot more to a specific team. The league office, think about how long this has been.
Right. But let me say this before Kimberly chimes back in. To answer your question, Molly, when the bottom line is affected, the fact of the matter is we just finished watching the NFL brag about record ratings. We see everybody clamoring for their product. When Colin Kaepernick put himself in a position that he was in, why did the league come across as remotely capitulating? Because we found out their bottom line was affected. We found out that the owners believed and they had deduced that the Colin Kaepernick situation cost them 15 to 20% of their money.
But you think that Deshaun Watson affects their bottom line if they punish him?
Do I think? No.
I
was talking about her question in terms of she was asking, why doesn't the league? I want you ask the question directly.
I asked a bunch of questions.
Exactly.
There's a lot
I'm just
on my
talking
mind.
about in terms of what the league's position may be or whatever. I'm saying when you want real change to take place, you got to affect their bottom line. Whatever way because they have shown you if their bottom line doesn't get affected, neither does change. They've shown you that.
But what I'm saying about that is you can argue that Deshaun Watson helps the bottom line for Cleveland. They win more games.
For Cleveland.
It's an improvement for them. From the league's perspective, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
That is why there's confusion over
it's a terrible
what is taking you so long.
Yeah.
Why haven't you why haven't you handed down a punishment? Why have you been silent? Why haven't you talked about, the investigation that you have done?
Exactly.
Y'all voices are incredibly, incredibly profound as it pertains to what punishment should come down the pike. I really, really feel that way. And so when I'm thinking about the National Football League, right, here's my issue. Here's my question to y'all. At some point in time, again, what do you think should happen? Because we're talking business ethics and we're talking about the NFL lacking it, but we're also talking about a female audience out there that is profound. They're incredibly potent. You can affect the bottom line. And so if the NFL is sitting back and they're saying the legal system has made its decision, as a result, we can't prohibit him from playing in this league in our estimation. Well, what do you do about that? Come with a definitive answer.
To me, it's still premature because we don't. There's 22 lawsuits. There's 22 civil suits. I don't know whether he's won or lost. That's why I think it's premature by the Cleveland Browns to give this man the most guaranteed money ever, $230 million.
Okay, fair enough.
So we don't have those answers. So let me just say that.
Okay.
So first of all, I already think the rule is egregious in terms of 6 games for abusing children, women, sexual assault, domestic violence. All right, that rule needs to be changed. That's a minimum of 1 season. So Deshaun Watson, if all these 22 women lied on him and he wins every civil case, right? All 22 of them, go for it, break the bank. But that's not where we are right now, and we need more information. We need more information also from the Browns on how they got here, how the NFL got here to make this decision. To answer your question,
right.
Stephen A., and I understand it's a direct question, I just wanted to make those points, but as far as Deshaun Watson in terms of punishment, if he's losing these cases, he should not be playing this entire season. Maybe 2 seasons.
Okay, but no.
And that's why they gave him. That's why he only loses $1 million, Stephen A. Because they know punishment might come down. $1 million when you're about to get 220.
No.
That's a slap in the face to all women everywhere. I just need to say something. If he is guilty, Stephen A. Right? If he loses these cases, he's going to lose. They protected him, so he gets all his money.
But I'm still asking the question.
I told you.